Hey Lawn Care Nation, in this video I'm going to talk about the KUJO Yardwear shoe coming up. Hey Lawn Care Nation, these are my KUJO Yardwear shoes, and as you can see from the overall condition, I've been using them in my lawn care business day in and day out. Now KUJO sent these shoes to me about a year and a half ago when they originally launched this product, and they sent them for me to check out, to use, and review. Okay, so before we begin, it's important to note that all of the concerns that I have and will be pointing out in this video about KUJO Yardwear shoes are to do with this first iteration of the product from this batch when they first launched about a year and a half ago. And I learned at GIE 2019 that they have since addressed and fixed all of these issues, so any KUJO Yardwear shoes that you'd be ordering today don't have any of these issues or problems. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video where you can see a clip from my interview with Sean from KUJO Yardwear, where he specifically talks about the issues and what they did to resolve them. Now, originally when KUJO launched these shoes, the idea behind them was to provide a lightweight, breathable, and water-resistant shoe that you could use for outdoor yard work that had some of the rugged performance features that a work boot would have. So some of the features that they had built in or designed into these shoes was a very good grip on them, so that on slippery surfaces, on wet grass slopes, you'd still have a good grip so that you're not slipping and falling all over the place. They purposely covered the toe cap area to make them water resistant. They included a bunch of different vents on the sides so that they'd be breathable and let your feet air out during the day. They also featured a very snug fit by design, so that once they're put on your foot, it prevents a lot of the debris from making its way into your shoe and having those annoying rocks and twigs and things that can sometimes work their way in there. So let's talk about some of the features here. You'll notice, like I said, that toe cap is completely covered. So that's one of the things right off the bat that is great here, especially where I work in the Pacific Northwest, where it rains a lot, where the grass is always pretty long, wet, and dewy. That can get you a long way. Just having that toe cap completely sealed and protected to keeping your feet dry. Now, these shoes aren't completely waterproof. They're water resistant, so depending on the rain during the course of the day, if it's a really heavy rain, you will find your feet starting to get wet the longer you stay out there, as water starts to get into these cloth knitted areas. Eventually it will find its way inside the boot, but overall they do keep my feet generally pretty dry, so I do really like that. The biggest downside or negative thing that I would say about these shoes, again, is probably that snug fit. It can be a bit difficult at times to get these shoes on. You can struggle with trying to pull them on, even during the best of times. In fact, with this one here, you can see that loop on the back that you can use to help pull the shoe on is actually tearing because I'm pulling it so hard to try to get my foot in place. Once they're on, they fit perfect. They feel like a glove on my foot. They're not tight. They're not too loose. They are an exact fit for the size shoe that I normally wear. The only real sort of wear point that I found on this particular model, and it's important to note that these are a year and a half old already, so they're one of the very first sets that came off the production line, was in the heel area here, where you can see it kind of broke down there on the inside, and there's some sort of rubber insert or something that's inside behind the cloth that started to break down, and it broke down into these tiny little almost like pebbles. So throughout the course of the day, the shoe would feel like you had little rocks or pebbles in the shoe, and then you take your shoe off and pour them out in your hand, and it would be these little rubber bits that was in there. So I had the opportunity at GIE 2019 to speak with Sean from KUJO Yardwear, where I was able to bring up my concerns with the KUJO Yardwear shoe and tell him all about the issues that I was having with it being hard to put on, with that pull tab being kind of weak on the back, and with the heel on the inside wearing down and all of those little rubber pebble-like bits filling up on the inside of the shoe. And to my surprise, they had already known about all of these issues, and not only that, they had already addressed and fixed all of these issues with current KUJO Yardwear shoes. So here is a clip from my interview with Sean from KUJO Yardwear. So, and then the original KUJOs, what improvements? You mentioned some improvements you've made?
Always trying to make them better. Fortunately, a lot of the guys love them as is, but we're always getting feedback and making them better. So some of the feedback on the original versions were that they were hard to get on and off. So we agree. We went from 7 lace holes to 6, and we made the lace holes a little bigger, and we just laced them a little different. Those small little tweaks made it way easier to get them on and off. So the laces slide a lot easier. So just little tweaks there.
Still form-fitting once you tie them on and stuff?
So once you tighten it up, it's still going to fit around your ankle wall to prevent that grass getting in, but it's just easier to loosen and get them on. Just a minor tweak. Some people said that the heel lining was starting to wear down, so we added another layer of heel support to make it way more durable on the inside so the heel won't break down. And then we also made the pull tabs a little bit bigger for your finger and much, much stronger. So we triple reinforce these because we don't want any of these tearing. So just some little improvements that we made that just keep trying to make them better. So keep giving us the feedback. It helps us make a better shoe.
That's a really cool thing to see that, they've taken customer feedback early on and have already made changes and adjustments to the overall design and durability of the shoe. So overall, the shoes have performed really, really well. I love the fact that there's that toe cap area. That's the biggest thing for me because the grass here in the Pacific Northwest is always wet, and that area tends to be the spot that gets the wettest. So having that completely covered is great because it keeps my feet dry for longer. The other thing I like is all of the extra enforcement around the sides here, especially where your foot tends to flex. In that area here, you can see the extra stitching and stuff there, and having that breathable area there really, really helps. I found with traditional work boots that I've worn that this area here is the problem areas for me, where they start to separate from the heel or from the sole of the shoe, and where the leather or whatever materials the boots are made out of tend to break down. There'll be holes and stuff that start in these areas, usually on the outsides, in my experience, and that's where water will start to enter, and as it separates along there. And as you can see with these, they've held up really, really well. They're still pretty tight around the seals all the way around where the sole meets the uppers of the shoe. So they're definitely one of the products that you've seen in the lawn care industry in the recent years that definitely lives up to the hype. Now, with that being said, if sort of shoe design doesn't really appeal to you and you really much rather stick with a boot design, KUJO Yardwear has introduced a brand new boot to their lineup to cater to those people that want a more durable and fully waterproof boot. Now, if you're interested in picking up a pair of these KUJO Yardwear shoes, or maybe the KUJO Yardwear boots, you can head on over to their website. Being an affiliate product here for the Lawn Care Business Success podcast and YouTube channel, they've provided us a coupon code for you guys to use. If you're interested, you can type in LCBS10 at the checkout, and that'll save you 10% off your order. Now, of course, being an affiliate product, not only will that coupon code LCBS10 save you 10% off your order, but it'll also kick back a few dollars here to the Lawn Care Business Success podcast and YouTube channel to help support the content that we create. So there you have it, Lawn Care Nation, my review of the Kujo Yardwear shoe. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you use Kujo Yardwear shoes and what your experience has been with them. So that's it for this one, guys. Here's to wishing you guys all overwhelming success and freedom in your lawn care business. Bye for now.